You're Ilana.
You're Sean.
And together we are the Down Under Cruisers. Welcome aboard, folks.
Hello there.
Nice to have you here. Today we've got a special day on. There was a famous thespian at one point wrote a play, and in actual fact he got the words wrong. The correct words are on board or do an excursion. That is the question. That's the theme of our day today.
Oh, God. I had no idea where you were going there.
Oh,
I was worried.
Neither do our special
you open
guests,
up your
right?
mouth, I'm worried.
Well, you worry every time I open my mouth. What am I saying? Okay, first things first. In the chat, I want to say g'day to our P&O winner. I know they don't do that anymore. Nick,
we need to be careful because they're sailing now.
They're sailing now.
We may have to get points.
G'day, Nick. How you going? Sorry you missed my birthday, mate. Thank you. It was an awesome birthday. It's in the past now. I'm ancient. But thank you very much, and welcome aboard. Nice to have you here. And second in the chat was Crystal from Destination Delights. Awesome. Nick did say that he's been working 75-hour weeks. Bloody hell, you sound like you own your own business, mate. Through the 17th of May, and so it's either work or sleeping really for him. How's everybody? We're all well, thank you. All right. I mean, I could go through the whole chat and say good day to everybody. We've got Michael Ann there. We've got Sharon and Gary. We've got who? What's that?
Meg, thank you. Okay. Meg,
g'day, Meg.
Here. Thank you very much.
Unpacking. That's a good move, Meg. Glad about that. Okay.
That's great.
Just very quickly, I'm looking for names. I'm not looking for messages. I'm just looking for names. Okay, nobody's new in there. Oh, yeah,
hello.
New one.
That's nice to see you.
Tasia Travel, welcome aboard.
Lovely.
Nice to have you on board.
Thank you for joining us.
Don't remember having you on board before, but what I will ask is where are you from and what cruises have you got in mind? Okay.
Hello, Nancy is here.
Is she?
Najuma, hello, Najuma.
Oh, my goodness me. You're busy reading in the chat itself, so let's have a look.
V, hi V.
G'day V.
Hi Troy. Rob on the road.
Oh, we got Rob.
Hello,
G'day
Gov.
Rob. How are you? G'day Gov. Nice to have you here. We've got now you said Najuma. I can't find her. Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? Come on. Oh, there's Troy. G'day Troy. Welcome aboard, buddy. Nice to have you here. Nancy,
hello.
Welcome aboard, Nancy. Nice to have you
nice
here.
To
Happy
you,
21st, young lady.
It's
Happy
really
21st.
lovely to see you.
Sorry, 17. No, but you're not allowed to drink. 21. That's where you're allowed to drink. Yes. Happy 21st. Hang on. 12:04. G'day, John. 12:04. Najuma, welcome aboard, Najuma. Nice to have you here. I'm just looking very quickly who's in the chat, because then I'm going to have to bring up
I think our guests need to come out of the basement, I think.
Yeah, all right. Are you ready?
We're ready. I'm ready.
Button down the table.
Are you ready? Yep.
Yeah, because I mean we did have a whirlwind earlier on, didn't we?
We did. We've actually already spoken to them today.
Yeah.
But it's time for round 2.
All right. Round 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 6. Bonbini!
Bonbini!
Hello! How are you guys? It's been so long.
Time no see, honestly.
Guys, it's been ages since we've spoken.
Is that what you look like?
Hey, do you want to know something? 175 days.
What, you're not going to give us the hours and the minutes and the seconds?
Wow, okay.
It's changed
175 hours, 175 days, 2 hours, 55 minutes. Don't know what the seconds are.
You know, at some point, it's going to be 175 hours, and won't that be a good day?
That will be amazing. Do you know what? We have been waiting 4 years to step onto a cruise ship.
You know,
4 years.
We've been really privileged to be on your show earlier on, and anybody who has seen that show earlier on would find that it was absolutely awesome. But you mentioned something that really hit home for us, and you said the group cruise is going to be absolutely amazing. Let me say this to you. Yes, Australia opened its doors. Yes, we have a cruise ship here, but nothing is going to be as great as us taking our 4 years and shoving it right down the toilet and getting on that group cruise and having the most amazing time.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And then what better way to do it than with mates?
Yes,
let me say.
even better. Yes.
And while we're talking about mates, let me just welcome a couple others quickly. We've got Eric B, who's coming on board. G'day, buddy. How you going?
Eric B, we need to talk to you about something.
Boy, do we need to
about
talk to you.
2024.
Correct. Puppy the Cat, welcome aboard. James, welcome aboard. Nice to have you here.
Hi, Puppy. Hi, James.
All right. So let's get into talking about why you guys are up here. Okay, so we started talking about the group cruise and the excursions in the front area, and you did the first two. So now we're in the DR. So let's talk about the DR. Now, before I bring up that DR, let me just...
And again, can I just say, we're relying on the expertise of those who have been there to help talk us through them.
Absolutely.
As we are newbies at these destinations. So we're looking at hints and ideas. People who've been there, write in the chat, please, what you recommend.
Now, Kimbra,
I know there's some people that have been, I know there's some great experienced cruisers in this chat that have been to these ports too, with some amazing experiences to share.
Good. That's what we're here for.
Kimbra, I'm going to ask you. I'll bring up the excursions, but I'm going to ask you to do me a favor if you don't mind. If there's anything in the chat worth discussing, please bring it up. I'll be looking as well, but if there's anything in the chat that's worth discussing, please bring it up.
Absolutely.
That way we can all...
Oh, I haven't got my laptop here.
We can all have a good old chat. Now, let me just bring up that and...
We'll bring up the discussion. So we are discussing this hour. Gosh, I can't even talk. Amber Cove and La Romana, the DR, which is very exciting.
Going to come up.
Hispaniola. Hispaniola is Dominican Republic and Haiti, but we won't be in Haiti, but we'll be 2 ports in Dominican Republic, La Romana and then Amber Cove. Amber Cove is a really amazing port as far as the port itself. La Romana, the port itself is like where you go is getting better. I used to be a little bit of a
I mean, I think it surprised you when we were there.
It surprised me because when the first time I was there, it was like there was nothing there. And I was like, oh, this port, blah, blah. And then we went and they had expanded upon it quite a bit. But that doesn't say anything about the excursions that are available. It just says that it's maybe not the port to get off and just wander around because there's not that much to do there. Amber Cove, however, you could make that port an experience in and of itself.
Yeah, we believe so.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, now give me a second.
He's working his way through.
I have a technical issue because the program I'm using does not like the word Safari.
Okay, so while we're doing that, our group cruise, we have a Facebook page for those who are on the cruise booked already. So if you are in the chat and coming on the group cruise and you like the idea of a particular excursion, pop it into the Facebook and we might, if you want other people to join you, and then we'll get an idea of, a group that's interested in booking that particular excursion. And then we can all go as a group.
And that'd be awesome. Because we could do a thing like go in, say, for example, in Bonaire, the idea we were thinking was getting the golf buggy.
We like the idea of that the golf cart, except that we can't drive because we drive on the correct side and we don't want to break the law. So we need people who can drive on the incorrect side of the road to do the driving for us. So
also the incorrect side of the car. I think that would be even harder to get used to unless you, like over here, our male people, they drive with the steering wheel on the same side of the car as you guys have. But because your steering wheels are, well, actually, I don't know. In England, the steering wheels are on the right side of the car, but in America, they're on the left. Are they on the left or the right for Australia?
No, we're the same as England.
Okay, yeah,
the
that's
right.
what I thought.
Yeah,
But
when right-hand
I
drive.
didn't want to assume. Trying
Especially
to go back to those Mad Max, watching the Mad Max movies because that was Australian vehicles. But
our
Yeah.
garbage trucks have 2 steering wheels, one on either side.
oh, okay.
So they
So you
can,
can
yeah, work on
you can
both.
choose.
So they can work on whichever way they're going.
That would
They
be
can go up.
awesome. Why don't we do that with all cars? Then I could be like
I
driving
know.
to work and I'm like, hey Kimbra, I want to look something up on my phone. Take the wheel, and then I could just look it
That
up.
would
on
be
my phone.
awesome.
Right?
Wouldn't it
Like,
be?
that'd be cool. It'd probably be
Yeah.
a lot more expensive to do that on all vehicles, though. But
Mm.
you know,
A bit
goals.
awkward, I think.
Goals.
But anyway, yeah.
All right, so there we go. We've got the excursions up, and we're looking at La Romana at this
La
particular
Romana.
point.
La 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 Romana.
So what do you got on? What do you say about La Romana?
Let's have a look.
So La Romana, let's see. The first one I see there is the top 10 best
Yep.
of La Romana, which is a $60, we're rounding up a little bit, $60 4-hour tour. And basically it's going to take you to kind of cultural places, some museums, some like historical churches, that kind of thing. Give you a little bit of a tour guide version of not Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic. Yeah.
I forget where we're going.
I forgot.
No,
I mean,
we're
both
words of
U.S.
blood
territories,
anyway.
right? Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico are both U.S. territories, not states, but territories.
So is there anything like special in La Romana that would be really recommended? Some special place? Is it known for anything in particular?
This is not something I have experienced to be able to answer that question with. I've been to La Romana twice, and I haven't spent time in La Romana on both of those. One, I went scuba diving, which was, I will say, one of the best dives I've ever had. And then the other time I went to Monkeyland, which is quite a distance away. There's 2 Monkeylands at least, but it's quite a distance away from La Romana. I know there's a lot of resorts in the area. I don't know a lot about the area other than that. Maybe some people in the chat can fill us in, but from the description of this one, it's taking you to some.
I'm gonna jump in.
Yeah.
One of the things that a lot of these excursions will do is do something where they call like the Dominican flavors or Dominican culture or something, and they'll take you to like a little plantation house where you can experience like how they make like the cacao and the coffee. And some of them have like where they roll the cigars and stuff, so you can experience that. The one that we went, we did Monkeyland, and then we did the Dominican flavors, and we stopped at this little plantation house, and we were able to taste like the different parts of, or what's the different,
like through the process of making chocolate.
Yeah, so like we got to take a piece of like the bean like right out of the pod, and then they let us taste it at the next step, and then again at the next step, and then of course all the way at the end where it was actually chocolate. So it's really cool. A lot of the excursions will include something like that.
And let me just say, if you're a fan of coffee, I'm a hit or miss on coffee, but best coffee I've ever had, hands down, bar none, is in Dominican Republic, and it's been at these little houses where this little grandma is like, I don't know what kind of magic she's using to make this coffee and like stuff that doesn't even have electricity, but oh my God, it is amazing stuff.
I'll tell you what it is, Matt. They're actually using real coffee.
Well, that's probably it. And it's fresh. Yes, that you're probably correct. I'm not a coffee expert, but this coffee is delicious. And the chocolate's delicious.
Yes.
And they'll give you some Mama Juana. Mama Juana is a medicinal alcoholic drink. It's made with a bunch of herbs and stuff. It's unique. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I'm kind of in the middle. I've had really good and really not good Mama Juana.
I'm good with a taste, but I don't need to sit down and drink it.
It's a little medicinal, but we got some that was pretty good. But it's like one of those drinks I'll sip a little bit and then I'm good for like 6 months. But some people really like it. It
sounds a bit like kava in the South Pacific, I'd say. Does it make your tongue go numb? Does it give you some sort of? I'm not going to say.
No, it's like a very herbal liquor, I would say, with like in some of the bottles, you'll see like it's shoved with roots and,
You want me to go get our
and
bottle?
stuff. Well, ours doesn't have that.
Oh,
Ours is
okay.
just the liquor. So it's,
Fine.
and ours is a little bit less bitter, I would say, than the bottle I had that was probably a little more authentic.
Yeah.
But it is considered a medicine, I think, by the cultural definition there. So, you know.
So did it have to pass the FDA to get in?
Does it have to pass the what?
Food and Drug Administration.
Oh, I mean, we were able to buy some and take it on the ship, so it's regulated enough.
He's joking.
But you said
I
it
mean,
was
you never
medicinal.
know, though. You never know.
You said it was medicinal.
It's well, they claim it's medicinal. I mean,
Right.
in the same way that I say bourbon's medicinal, probably.
We say for us, coffee's medicinal. So
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I mean,
So out of these ones here at the top, which one of those will get us in touch with a coffee place or a
well,
chocolate?
let's open up the top 10 and see.
All right.
yeah, I don't know if the
Let's
top
have a
10 will. I think that's more like museums and stuff. It's a pretty inexpensive tour. I think 60 bucks.
But if we go
Countryside
to
and beach, I think that's also, that one might get you one of
Yeah.
those experiences.
So easy activity level. Okay, 5 hours. That's
Yeah, that one. The
Yeah, so that one's going to a village, it said, right?
yeah,
So
the countryside and
the
beach will get you to one of those villages.
fishing
Yeah,
village.
so- and you get to taste fresh sugar cane, which I like in the Keys, we had sugar cane juice and it changed my life. So that's a pretty good thing. Yeah, it's got the coffee and the fresh fruit and all that. So it sounds like you're going to get that sort of experience with that countryside one, and then a little bit of beach time, which is always good.
And that's 5 hours, so that's a decent whack of the day. So
Yeah. Now the next one over, that zip line one. Okay, there's a lot of zip line opportunities in the Dominican Republic because there's a lot of elevation there. This is a very mountainous island. It's a big island too. Hispaniola is pretty big, and unlike Aruba and Bonaire are fairly flat. But this one's got a lot of elevation, and so some of these excursions will even take you up to very scenic views in the mountains. But there's also you can do the zip lining if you're an adrenaline junkie. There's a lot of opportunity for that in the DR.
Yeah, I believe John from J&N Travels, cousin, zipline guys, going to be doing that one as well.
Cool. I'm not a fan of heights. I like depth, not heights. I have zip lined. It was terrifying, but if you're into that sort of thing, it's a good place to do it.
okay.
What about the Hive Beach Resort?
By Hive.
Yeah, Hive. Let me see if I can find that one in my
I've got it.
notes here. You got it pulled up?
Yep.
Or has anyone in the chat been there?
All inclusive. So this one is $110. It's 5 hours. It's about a half an hour drive. That's something you want to watch in like La Romana and a little bit in Amber Cove. How far away are these excursions? Because some of them are 45 minutes plus away. So that's each way. Okay, so that's going to cut into your time. But this one's only a half an hour. That's not bad. Open bar, swimming pool, food. One thing to note, especially if you're an American, I don't know how it works in Australia, but this is more of a European style clothing optional beach. So,
That doesn't bother us.
be
at all.
aware. Yes,
Okay,
be
that
aware.
doesn't
You
bother
might see more than you intend to.
Yeah. Some
Right.
of the reviews on this one said that there were some vendors that were a bit aggressive
Okay. Yep.
on this beach.
We've seen that in a lot of reviews on this
Yep.
particular beach. It sounds like, and I've been to ports like this where if you're comfortable just saying no to people, it might not bother you. Other people, it's going to ruin their day. So
Yep.
just be aware that seems to be the case at this Hive. I don't know how to say it. That beach.
That beach.
Yeah, that one there.
Just on that point, can I ask you, in the ports generally in the Caribbean, when you get off the ship and you go to the ports, do you get a rush of vendors and tourist touters driving you mad?
On the whole, no. There are some exceptions to that, and there are areas where you can go where that is a problem. I've not experienced that I don't think we'll experience that in Bonaire or Aruba at all. There are I've been to some beaches in Costa Maya, Mexico, where that was a big thing. I've heard about that being a big problem in Jamaica. I haven't been to Jamaica, so I can't really speak to that. There's a place called the Straw Market in Nassau. If you go into the Straw Market, you're going to get that. But on the whole, you might get a little bit of, when you first exit the official port area, you might get people like, hey, you want a cab? You want an excursion?
Yeah, but you can just say no and walk by, and usually it's okay.
Yeah, not too bad. The places that I've really experienced had negative experiences were in Costa Maya and Nassau. And when you used to have to walk through the Straw Market to get to a lot of excursions, now it's kind of its own separate building. And walking through there, I've had the people where they're like, they put the bracelet on you and then tell you owe them $20, that kind of thing. Yeah. But that has not been the common experience for me in the Caribbean for sure. Good. Yeah, that is definitely the exception, not the rule, from what I've seen.
Yeah, we had that in Suva, Fiji. It's just, eyes down, just walk.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, now when you're in some of the ports with the shops, you may get people who are like, oh, come here. But again, you just got to be comfortable saying, nope, I'm good. And they're not going to they're not super aggressive. They're just going to be vocal because they want your business and stuff like that. But so it's not really a huge problem.
Larry does have a question. He's asking if all the ports are English, all of these ports are English speaking, or are they different languages?
So in the ABC Islands, so Aruba and Bonaire for us, they speak several languages. Most of the people that live there speak English, Spanish, Dutch, and their own really cool, amazing language called Papiamentu, which is where Bonbini comes from. My douchey here knows that term as well. Oh, that's like your love of your life or something like that. But in Dominican Republic, most people speak English and Spanish. So the ports we're going to, and really in my experience, most ports that you go to on cruises are going to have people that speak English because that's their customers. They're getting our Americans. And so most of us are only smart enough to speak one language, and that's English. So that's usually what they have to be able to do.
Yes.
For some people, they might like the idea of the dolphins, swimming with the dolphins.
I like the idea of swimming with the dolphins.
The next excursion that's there is the ultimate dolphin swim with lunch.
So this is one of them where you can kind of pick and choose how much comes with your dolphin experience. There's the ultimate dolphin encounter for $150, the ultimate royal dolphin swim and lunch for $200. I feel like there's even another one. I have not done the dolphin experience at this particular port, but I have done it at the other port that we're going to talk about. And there's usually the stuff that you're paying for that's extra that separates them is going to be things like, is it including food? Is it including, I don't think most of these include drinks, but they might. But the big difference is what kind of experience are you having? So that you can usually do an encounter, which means you're going to be standing in the water. The dolphins are going to come over to you and you're going to get to give them a hug and pet them and that sort of thing. And then there's more active ones where you're going to actually hold on and they're going to pull you across a body of water and stuff. So those are two kind of different experiences that are usually offered. And then the other thing that will separate them sometimes will be, is it like a fairly small private group or is it a little bit bigger group? And those are where the price differences are going to lie. I can't speak to this facility as far as their dolphins go, but I can tell you that Dominican Republic, because it is a U.S. territory, they are probably going to be held to higher standards than a lot of other places. So that's something I'm very conscientious of is if I'm not opposed to dolphin encounters, I think it's a really amazing experience, but there are some areas I've seen that I would not give them my money, and there are others that I would happily give them my money. And so I assume that this one is probably on the better part of that.
This is at a place called Dolphin Discovery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which does sound like familiar to me.
Is it because Discovery Cove?
Maybe. That may be it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But yeah, I would look at some reviews and that and see what people say. But I will tell you, when we get to Amber Cove, there is a place called Ocean World that's like a little kind of almost mini SeaWorld type of place. And I have a lot of really high praise for that facility, not only as a guest that would go and just the experience that I had, but also as a marine science educator that works at an aquarium. And as far as their ethics and their animal welfare and all of that sort of thing, they get very, very high marks from me.
Awesome. So if we've now covered the dolphins, what about the Chavon River kayaking?
Have you guys ever gone kayaking?
Okay.
We were ready to throttle each other together. We've only kayaked together once. That was in Vanuatu, one of those glass bottom things. But all it ended up being was like a bathtub, a Perspex bathtub with outriggers. There was no seat in it. He strained his groin already getting in.
Oh, no.
So we weren't off to a good start. And then so he couldn't paddle because he was in pain. So
they wouldn't let me.
It was disastrous.
Sit with your backside on the floor and your legs out, right? I couldn't sit on my knees, which is what I'm used to, especially when you're with karate and so forth. So by sitting on my knees, I would have been able to paddle. Couldn't paddle the other way.
It was just so I had to paddle for the two of us, and then we ended up getting towed in because.
See, I marry strong women.
Anyway. But we do like kayaking if it's a proper kayak.
So the kayaks that you're going to run into on these type of excursions are going to be what we call sit-on-top kayaks. They're going to have seats, but they're going to be molded into it. So you're not sitting in a cockpit at all. They're not going to be the most comfortable seats, but they are seats. The one thing I will say is they must not be very big kayaks because they have a weight limit of 200 pounds per passenger, which is not a lot for a lot of Americans.
And they are tandem kayaks, so it's two people kayaks.
Yes. So we own kayaks. We love to kayak. I think if you want to experience like mangroves and some scenic nature, get out on the water, this would be a really cool experience. But
I do have to say that $92 for this kayak is a little pricey.
It's a little pricey. I would not disagree with that. And also keep in mind, if you are not used to kayaking, kayaking is work, especially if there's a little bit of a breeze
or current.
Yeah. Yep.
It's gonna be a workout. So just bear that in mind if that's something you're interested in.
It may not be fun.
Make sure you're fit enough to enjoy that, is what I would say.
Yep. That's more possibly for sporty people.
Yeah, I mean, it can be nice and relaxing, but yeah, I would definitely say,
make sure you're ready to work your arms.
Yeah, and you can have back issues. Like if it's
you're
using muscles that you don't normally use. And so keep in mind that you're on a cruise. The last thing you want to do is blow out your back or make yourself sore so you can't enjoy the next day. So if you're a person that does physical activity, especially if you do kayak or canoe, absolutely, you already know, you don't need me to tell you all this, but if you're not, you might want to give it a second guess as to whether you want to do that or not.
Okay, I'm going to skip over the deluxe beach resort because it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I want to look at two coming up. One being the Tiana Indian Cave, and the second being the Monkey Land and Dominican Flavors excursions.
So Tiana Indian Caves is about $62, 3 hours. It's a 30-minute drive, so not too bad. There are a few ways you can get to this cave, I believe.
Yep, there's a few different excursions that will go here.
It looks interesting. I haven't been to it, so I can't speak too much to it, but I can tell you this. If you're a vlogger, they don't allow cameras in there. So So that is something to bear in mind. They're not going to let you film or take pictures in this cave. I'm not exactly sure why. If it's because there's like historical,
could be a religious
things. Yeah. I don't know a whole lot about the cave, but if caves are something you're into, I think it would probably be a fun thing to do, and probably a lot of history and some
interesting fact
stuff
about this cave. It was discovered by mistake by Boy Scouts in 1926. So I think that's really interesting.
It's very Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it belongs in a museum kind of thing.
I just want to draw attention to one thing here. Philip Rackman has said that he now that he's been going to the gym, he now has one ab showing. Mate, if it's the same ab as mine, you've got a lot more work to do.
A one pack. Larry's saying a one pack.
5 more to go to get fill the pack.
I mean, our kayaks have the nice little
we've got real nice seats,
like seats that are like the little camp seats that you sit in. It's very comfortable, but even that can be a bit much. Now, as far as Monkeyland, we can speak to that very specifically because we've done that.
That's what we did last September.
And I don't know, you want to talk about Monkeyland?
I mean, if you want monkeys to jump all over your head and pull your hair and eat food out of your hands, then this is definitely the excursion to do.
If you are an animal lover and you like especially furry things, these monkeys, I'm not a big fan of primates. I don't even like humans that much, but these monkeys are adorable.
Oh, they're so cute. And they jump around all over the place. They'll give you a little bowl with food in it. And these monkeys will they'll jump all over you, grab the food, and then jump to the next person and grab all their food. It's great.
It's a lot of
fun.
As long
as they don't do anything else all over you.
No,
I didn't see any of them doing that. Yeah, I've seen other monkeys that did some nasty things to people, but they were different species.
But they were babies too, which was fun.
They're so cute.
Yeah, so itty bitty, the mom's carrying babies,
person, but they were cute.
And then it does do that Dominican flavors thing, which
really
was
cool.
Actually, like, the monkeys were cool, but that Dominican flavors was one of my favorite parts of that excursion. That was awesome.
And I will also speak again to the care, the attention they give to the well-being of the monkeys is top notch at this facility. So it's a very good, good upstanding facility. And besides that kind of surprise awesomeness of going to that little house and the coffee and the chocolate and all that, the trip there, you are going to see the Dominican Republic and you're going to go through little towns, and it is some crazy stuff going on there. Everybody, well, not everybody, but almost everybody drives motorcycles and scooters. And I've driven motorcycles and scooters for a good portion of my life. There are people I swear, like whole families driving on a scooter and carrying like a couch. It's crazy. And they drive like it actually concerns me.
They cut in front of people.
They're not wearing helmets, but you will see these little towns and you will really get to see, I think, the Dominican Republic. And it is a little bit of a drive. I think it's like 45 minutes or so to get there. But along the way, you have a tour guide on the bus who is giving you lots of information about the Dominican Republic. And they're in my experience, they're always friendly and they love to answer your questions. So
yeah, this was a great excursion.
It was really awesome.
I highly recommend every part of it.
Yeah. And I've done it from both ports in DR, and they both were really good.
Good. That sounds
we're
like a one
sticking
that we might asterisk.
If we're sticking on the animal theme, let's go with the horseback riding.
So it is what it says. That is a horseback riding thing. How long did it take to get to that one? Do you remember?
What is that one called?
Casa something.
It's
It's a
90-minute horseback ride. So you're on the horses for 90
minutes.
minutes.
And the excursion is 2 hours.
2 hours. So if we do the math, it's not that far away.
15 minutes there and back. 90 minutes.
$92.
Yeah. It is what it sounds like. You're riding on horses for an hour and a half.
If you want to ride on horses, that's what you get to do.
Yep. Self-explanatory.
I personally don't like riding horses.
Neither one of us.
So
nothing against horses, but neither one of us.
That sounds like a horrible excursion to me.
But people are. This would be a cool place. I don't know if this one doesn't say anything about going in the water.
This is not a beach one. I don't know if it's here or Amber Cove,
I
but
think Amber Cove.
there is a horse riding on beach.
So if you want to go through the water with the horses, this might not be the place to do that. This is more probably, I mean, Dominican Republic is, look, this is the island where a lot of the first Jurassic Park was filmed. So it's very lush. It's very tropical. There's been some other really cool movies filmed on this island as well. So it's scenic, and you're going to have beautiful views. And if you like horses, this is a great way to experience that.
All right. You were going to say
No,
something?
no.
You were looking at, we spoke about dune buggy in Bonaire, and I think Aruba as well. Pretty much similar here for the dune buggy and cave adventure.
Yeah, absolutely. So similar idea. You're gonna go in those vehicles. There's a couple others that are similar. Like there's the ATV that we'll see later on. Kind of the same idea. You go if you want to drive and be adventurous and get dirty, then that's what you're gonna do.
Get dirty. I will say, I think you get a lot dirtier in the DR than you do in the Bonaire
the others are just dusty. These are like you're getting dirty.
Like you're going to be full on covered in mud. Some of them you end up putting in the water and stuff afterwards. So
Matt, you just get dirty on the leader deck. I mean, you and your Vegemite, you just get dirty.
Heck yeah. I'm on a cruise. I'll never see these people again. Oh, but that's not true on a group cruise.
That's right, exactly.
It's out the window.
That's a good choice of dolphin excursions.
And Matt already spoke about those.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think you just read the details and decide. Yeah, I think read the details for yourselves and decide.
Now,
preference.
This is up your alley.
The 2-tank dive.
The 2-tank dive.
I've done this. I've done this from La Romana. One of the best dives I've ever done. One of them was a wall dive. So a wall dive means that you're diving in an area where the water drops down several thousand feet.
Wow.
And the other one was a drift dive where they drop you off and then you drift as you scuba and then you come up and then the boat comes and gets you.
Yeah.
Beautiful, healthy coral reefs that I was on. The boat literally picks you up in front of the ship. Like it's the closest excursion I've ever had. You could, I'm not exaggerating when I say you could reach out and knock on the bow of the ship from the dive boat. I don't know if you probably might have gotten in trouble if you did that, but I will also say I got caught by fishermen on that dive. Like we were up waiting for the boat to come back and get us from the drift dive. And all of a sudden I realized there were some guys fishing on like a weird thing that was sticking up out of the water and they hooked me and they were pulling me in. And so
they would have thought they had their biggest shot.
Stop! And I'm like trying to get this hook out of my BC, and then it's stuck in my finger. And then eventually I was able to get it out of my finger, but they kept reeling me in the whole time. So that was awkward, but beautiful scuba dive.
Can we just say hello to Bill and Lucy from MGM?
G'day, Bill. How you going? Lucy, how you going?
Hi, Laurie, as well.
Okay, and there were a couple of other people that popped in, but I've just missed them over because we're focused on this.
I just want to ask about the coral because Laurie's mentioned a good thing there about the weather. Are the reefs in good condition?
The reefs are the ones that I was on were in excellent condition. Some of the healthiest reefs I have ever seen were in Dominican Republic, which I was very excited about. They also, not only did they have a lot of healthy coral, great amount of fish diversity, but they also had a ton of long spine sea urchins, which is one of the kind of litmus tests for health of a reef in the Caribbean, because these sea urchins are integral to keeping those reefs healthy. But yeah, it really was maybe other than in the ABC islands like Curacao, it was maybe the healthiest reef I've ever scuba dived on. Healthier than the ones I've seen in Grand Cayman. Now, granted, I haven't been to all the Grand Cayman.
What about that one in Curacao?
Probably on par with Curacao.
Oh, Curacao was amazing.
And Roatan's amazing as well. But yeah, I was very, very happy with the reef health.
Okay. With 40 minutes down, I'm looking to finish up La Romana, and we're not that far off. We've spoken about the caves earlier on. That excursion there is not much different, other than adding a river cruise to it.
I think that's a different cave, though. That looks like stalagmites and stalactites by the look of it.
It's the same cave.
Oh, is it? It's not the Indian.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, it
because
is
it's got
the same cave.
no cameras and stuff.
Yep,
in
no
there.
cameras, and it talks about like the drawings on the walls.
Catalina Island Beach.
So this is like a little mini island that you can go to. It's about $95, 4.5 hours. You get on a boat and go there. I think this is the one that I had friends that did this when I went diving, and it's a nice beach experience. If it's the one that they were on, which I think it is, they were like, yeah, it was good. If you want that beach experience, this would be one of your options for that. I would do a little more research because I'm not 100% that it's the one that they did. But if it is, they weren't like it was the best beach ever, but they were happy with it, with their choice.
Yeah, it's not all inclusive or anything, so you're paying $95 to go to a beach.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the vibe that they had. They were like, but you don't have a ton of beach options in La Romana. It's not really the ideal place to go to the beach, from what I can tell.
So if you got off the ship and went to the port, there's nowhere close by if you wanted to have a swim on your own?
No, I would say no, definitely not. La Romana is, so for example, there are 19 excursions offered through Carnival for La Romana. Amber Cove has 39. So there's a lot more possibilities over there. La Romana is still kind of building up a little bit. And so you probably, if you don't want to stay on the ship, you probably want to find an excursion that's going to go somewhere and do something in La Romana. It's probably not going to be water-based unless you are scuba diving.
Yep.
And the next excursion there was the catamaran, sail, and snorkel. You've done that, haven't you?
I haven't done the one in La Romana, but I've done them in other areas. I've been on catamarans and snorkel. So that one, I would assume that one is probably really good too, because the coral reef, one of the coral reefs we went to was fairly shallow water, and it would have been a great snorkel location. And so it's probably going to be a good other water option.
I think this one goes to one stop for snorkeling.
Okay. It's a bit of a distance to get to the snorkeling locations from the boat. Like, it's a nice, beautiful, scenic ride. But does it mention the reef name? Is it called the aquarium?
I'm not on there anymore.
Okay. Sorry. Is the aquarium, is the wall and the aquarium are the names of the, I mean, the wall is pretty generic, but are the names
I don't think it said, because we have a question mark on it, so I don't think that it was very clear.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
But my guess is if you went on that, the snorkeling would be pretty good, but it's going to be one snorkel stop, which may be good or bad for certain people. And price wise, it's $82. So
I was actually trying to get details for you on it,
and it went to another.
It decided
it doesn't tell you where.
Okay.
It decided that it wasn't going to give me the details.
Oh, it doesn't tell you where. There you go.
Anyway.
Right. Okay. Can I, question? La Romana and Amber Cove, because they're in the Dominican Republic, how similar or similarities and differences between the two of them?
So from my experience there, La Romana, the first time I went, I just went scuba diving. And so what I saw at the port, it was a very underdeveloped port, not a lot of shops, not a lot of anything. And it seemed industrial to me, which I was wrong about that. So when I went back and we did the monkeys, I got to see a little bit more of that area. But it's very much the port still, even though it's built up, there's still not a lot of stores and restaurants. There's like a little coffee area there. And then you don't really want to go outside of the port area.
Oh, I do want to say they do the fish pedicures there.
Oh, in La Romana?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were rushing to get back, but we saw them.
And they have really good churros there too.
I didn't know that fish had really good toes.
Best toast.
A little too good. Amber Cove is Carnival owned port, and it is very built up. There's a huge swimming pool with a swim up bar. There's some very standard shops, like Piranha Joe's and the Del Sol and all that stuff. Beautiful, beautiful port. Lots of souvenir shops. If you want to do something outside of that, you're going to have to take an excursion. It's not one of these ports where you can just walk out and then find something to do. You're either in the port or you're doing an excursion.
You walk out and you're like on highway.
But a lot of people, Amber Cove for a lot of people is all they really want and need in a cruise port. And so a lot of people really, really love it. They have some homage to Jurassic Park and some of the other movies there and things like that. So it's really beautiful and built up, and La Romana is not really built up, but yeah.
But that's okay because that's all natural. It's in its natural environment.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's go to Amber Cove now and have a look. So the first thing they've got there is the Ocean World Day Pass.
So Ocean World is, in my opinion, a great place to go. That's what we did on our last visit there. We did one of the more things excursions that we'll see further on down. But they have lots of different options. So you can do like just go to Ocean World. You can do like a dolphin encounter. You can do a dolphin swim. You can do a VIP dolphin swim. You can do the one that we did was the sea lions, dolphins, and sharks. And it's Ocean World is a really great place. Like you were saying, it's they take care of their animals well. You can tell that they really care about what they're doing there.
And if you go to visit, they have sea lions, a sea lion show that's included in your general admission. They have a coral reef exhibit that you can snorkel in as part of your general admission. They have nurse sharks that you can watch a show, part of your general admission. They have a bird area that has toucans and parrots and lovebirds that you can go, part of your general admission. They have dolphins that you can see the dolphin show or walk by the dolphins, part of general admission. And then you can do all these other experiences on top of that. And so that's what we did is with my mom, and my mom loved it. Okay. My mom's in her 70s. So we did this fairly recently, and she was able to do all this stuff. And the dolphin encounter, the sea lion encounter, and the sharks, like the nurse sharks, they have them come up and sit on your lap.
It was best trained nurse sharks I have ever seen.
So good.
It was an amazing experience.
Yeah. Hey, how long are we in Amber Cove for?
How long are we there? I can look it up.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, keep in mind that we're speaking from our very heavily biased animal-loving personas. So if it's animals and they're underwater, you add a little bit of points to that for us that we're going to add on. So I always say that so people know.
I really understand, Matt, because every time Ilana talks about me, it's about her animal following.
We are in Amber Cove 9 to 5, so a pretty decent amount.
That's of time. Did you say? Well, I think that this Ocean World, you can actually, if you get there by taxi and buy your own tickets, it's a whole lot cheaper. That's doable. Was it you who said that you could do that?
You might be able to do that, but I would say you're probably, I don't know if it's going to be cheaper. You can do an excursion that just goes there on a bus and then comes back on a bus. You might be able to get your own taxi there and pay for it. In fact, I think maybe I did that the first time I went there. And you might be able to go to their website and get like a coupon or something.
Yeah, pre-book. You pass.
I'm not 100% sure of that, but that might be a thing that I would just say, look at their website and do a little research on how much the taxi would cost to go there to kind of figure out which one makes the most sense. What that will do for you, because I am pretty sure that's how I did it the first time when I just visited Ocean World by itself, didn't do any of the extras. What that will do is it'll get you there before everybody else gets there, and it'll give you a longer day there. So even if it's the same price, if that's available, that might be a good option.
Move on to the hands-on chocolate experience.
Chocolate.
So the chocolate experience is a little bit of a guess for me because I haven't done this one, but based on other chocolate experiences I've had and based on reading the description, some of the reviews, the way Kimbra put it is you're paying to do somebody's job and make chocolate, but that's not such a bad thing. You're learning about the whole process of how chocolate is made from the time that it's grown to all the things they have to do to get it to where it's finally mixed together with sugar or whatnot to become the chocolate candy bars and stuff that they have there. We've done a sort of similar. I mean, you sort of get a little bit of that experience if you do, like, say the taste of Dominican Republic type of thing, or like we've done something sort of like that in St. Augustine, Florida. Yeah. But I think this one, you're really getting to participate.
You're hands-on and really doing it.
So if you really like chocolate and you really want to get that experience of how it's made, this is probably a great excursion for you.
So this is where you can get dirty.
Chocolate dirty.
Yeah, that's a good chocolate.
Sweet and dirty.
Sweet and dirty.
Okay, I'm gonna skip over the
Ocean
Dolphin,
World. Yeah,
because that's Ocean World again. Yeah. But you've got that hillside cabana there.
Yeah, so like Matt said, Amber Cove is a very built up place. So they have a lot of different cabana options. So they have like the hillside cabana, they have cabanas near the pool, they have cabanas out in the water, and then they have like the really fancy cabanas. So those are just like your personal cabana space that you can rent. What's kind of cool about them, they come with water and soda all day, and then there's servers that will constantly come by and ask if you want drinks and stuff. So the drinks aren't included, but sodas are.
I think snacks are included too.
Snacks and sodas.
And the interesting thing is they rent these different cabanas by the cabana, and then they have a amount of people you can put in there. So, like, for example, the hillside cabana, what is that? What is the price on that one?
For
$309, $310.
Let's see.
Is that at the pool? That pool area? Is that where it is?
The hillside one's overlooking the pool area, and then they have ones that I think right now that says they're sold out, and those might be sold out.
The ones at the pool.
At the pool. Then they have some that are on the water. They look like those places in the Pacific, but the water's not quite as nice. But there's also like kayaks and stuff that you can use there.
Yeah.
And those are nice. And then they have a large version. So the
Grand Cabana.
The Grand Cabana, which is over $1,000. So the Ocean Cabana is $345 for 6 hours, and that's up to 8 people. It also includes Wi-Fi and cable. I don't know why you're watching TV while you're there, but if you want to, if that's your thing. The Grand Cabana is $1,170, but that's for up to 20 people. So if you have 20 people and it has
a hot tub.
It has a hot tub, yeah. So it's kind of like a little bit like what you were talking about, though. I'm getting off a ship to get on a boat. I feel like these are nice amenities, but I could get all of those on the ship. But it is very scenic, and when you're right on the water like that, and if you have the right amount of people to split it, it becomes very affordable.
Yeah,
good relaxation kind of thing.
Laurie was asking, do they have a coffee tour? Jumped up. Do they have a coffee tour? Is it a fantastic way to understand how coffee is made via Costa Rica? Notice I said fantastic.
I did notice that. So the coffee experiences that we've had, which are limited to the ones that came along with the Monkeyland thing, were really not that in depth as far as how the coffee was made. We did watch this lady make the coffee, and I've done that a couple times now, where they're kind of grinding stuff and things, but it's not as in depth as the chocolate. You're not like really tasting all the parts. And the experiences I've had, we didn't, but the coffee is really good.
There is one excursion that's called something. Well, maybe I'm trying to find it.
There's like cigar rolling ones. I don't like smoking cigars or anything, but if you do, there's like cigar ones that are like cigar rolling.
Yeah.
A lot of times those are coupled with, I think, some coffee stuff maybe.
Yeah. So Oh, this doesn't look like coffee. Okay. Well, there's an excursion called Discover Puerto Plata Traditions and Local Flavors. I thought that went more into the coffee, but it doesn't. It's cigars and chocolate.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get. I don't know this 100%. I don't think you're going to get that kind of in-depth thing with the coffee because I don't know if it's. I'm not a coffee expert, but I don't know if it's just not as involved as making chocolate, or if it's just like I know Costa Rica is probably more famous for their coffee, but yeah. So I don't really have maybe the best answer for that, but I know you can get really delicious coffee there.
Yeah, we have a question. Can you buy coffee and cacao? Yes.
Yes, you can buy them at those experiences. You can buy them in the ports. You can also get what is the tea stuff? Is that
it's coffee bean shells that they bag up and you can make tea out of that, and it is like the best tea ever.
It's so good.
Hang on, you're buying coffee to make tea?
Yeah. It's kind of weird, right? But
yeah,
but that's what you do. So
okay.
I'm going to skip over the zip lines because everybody's done a zip line now.
I think there is a zip line
There
in
is.
Amber Cove, so you could actually zip line in the port.
Yep.
If you want to do that.
There's 3 excursions here being done on the same zip line.
I think there's even a few further down too.
Mega truck country ride.
And culture, and that's lunch included.
So I think this one takes you to a beach, if I recall. This is one of those ones I was talking about on the podcast where it's like they seem to be. There must be a demographic that's really into driving and riding in big trucks. And I didn't get that gene. So for me, I'm like, it's a big truck. It scares me. I don't want anywhere near it. But if you're a person that likes that sort of thing, that's what you're getting. It's like this huge monster truck. Not like a
safari truck.
Like a big, it's a safari truck. But that's
a big one, yeah.
That is it looks like a military vehicle or something.
I was just going to say that's something I rode in when I was in South Africa doing my military service.
That looks like
it takes you around to some of different landmarks and through the plantations and stuff, and then gives you some lunch.
And I think it's really part of the experience is riding on that vehicle though. So if that appeals to you, that is going to be part of that excursion. If you're like me and you're like, it's a truck, I don't care, just get me from point A to point B. There may be better ways to do that excursion where you're avoiding that aspect of it because you're like, whatever, it's a truck ride. But if you like truck rides, then that's the one you want.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own opinions, right?
So
exactly. Yeah.
I'm just going to skip over the beaches because beach is beach.
Yeah. Yep. So
I will just say there is a beach that a lot of these go to that I would give you a little bit of a warning about. What is that one called?
Bacha something. Let's see. Where's it at?
This is a beach. And the reason I say that is because I don't know are you familiar with EECC Travel?
Yes.
So they did a review of this place and it was a nightmare. And they're pretty positive people. So for them to really bash a place, it's pretty bad. And it was just like things were falling apart. And we looked at the reviews we saw were basically backing this up. And this is going back to pre-pandemic reviews to current reviews.
Okay.
It just had a lot of negative reviews. Maybe somebody else has had a different experience. Playa Bachata?
Yep, Playa Bachata.
So,
okay, one to avoid.
This is why you want to do your independent research. The reviews are great on the Carnival site. I think you of course you got to take them with a grain of salt. If there's like 5 reviews that are great and one person that's like written an entire trilogy of stuff complaining about it, probably take that with a grain of salt. But I also encourage people before they book to go to like Cruise Critic and TripAdvisor and look for YouTube videos and stuff and see if you can find more accounts of it to kind of really get a better idea of what that place is like. Because some people complain about places and they're amazing to me, and I might complain about some place and somebody else is like, you're a moron, this is awesome. So
some people just like to complain too. So
that's true as well. Yes.
We've pretty much gone through the hour and there's
a lot there.
Completed Amber Cove. And what I'm going to suggest to people is that do your own research. We've covered pretty much most of what we want to do, and what we think people should be doing. It's
Well, hang on. Not what they should be doing. That's up to individuals to decide what they should be doing.
Can you stop doing a Kimbra with me?
I think.
Can I actually mention one other place that we didn't talk about is the waterfalls. A lot of these excursions go to a waterfall area where you can like slide down and jump through the waterfalls and stuff, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that's something
all.
that would not be inaccessible, probably.
No, there's like
Something
it's
to
like
think about,
40 minutes of walking through all of this.
Yeah.
It's definitely a very active
Yeah.
excursion.
Sounds fun though.
And like we mentioned in our podcast, if you have accessibility concerns and stuff like that, make sure to do extra amount of homework that they're going to accommodate that, or that they can accommodate that, so that you don't get stuck doing an excursion that you can't enjoy.
At the end of the day, the group cruise is your group cruise. You happen to be there with a bunch of people who are going to enjoy the time. So make the excursions count for you. Don't. Oh, Sean, that was a nice excursion, but you made me do it, and that went wrong. No, thank you. We're giving you the opportunity to look at the excursion, assess it. If you think it's something you'd like to do,
for you, yes,
go ahead and do
absolutely.
it. If the group does do it, the same excursion, well and good. If not, hey, you had an awesome time.
Or part of the group, yep.
But it's your story.
I will say though, having been on a few group cruises, that I usually mix it up a little bit, and sometimes you find like people. The cool thing about group cruises is you may be going on a group cruise to meet these celebrities, the Down Under cruisers, but you may find that some of the other people that are going on the group cruise, you may really bond with them. That's what I've had happen to me on group cruises, and you may do a little excursion there. But if you do go on some of these excursions with the group, it can really amplify the fun.
Correct.
So that I should say that too. Like I did Monkeyland with a bunch of people on a group cruise, and it just made it that much more fun and exciting. We did a sea turtle snorkel, and just having everybody there, and you're sharing that experience with them. But yeah, make sure it's something that you want to do, that you personally want to do, but that can actually really add to the fun and the camaraderie, and you build those relationships. And to me, that's really part of the magic of a group cruise. Is I can cruise with Kimbra and we'll have a great time, but when I'm on a group cruise, that's an added bonus, and it's a really great experience to have and share.
Absolutely. Especially when you're with people that you've never ever met face to face, and you're using a medium like this to become really, really close friends.
Yeah.
And it just becomes like cream on top of the cake.
The coffee.
And let me just put it out there now, because this is always a weird, awkward thing when you meet people. For those people that if you meet me or in person, I won't speak for Kimbra, but I am a hugger. So I won't come up and hug you because I don't know if you're a hugger. But if you approach me in a hug stance, I will hug back. So some people are uncomfortable with that, and I totally respect that. But so I just put that out there.
This is where I'm a bit different to you, Matt. The hands are out already.
Yeah, we're huggers.
You either push my hands away or you come on in.
We're huggers too. We'll put it out there as well.
Yep.
Thank you, Larry, for posting about. He's put the price of the zip lines at the Amber Cove pool area too, because I think there might be a plan that people may just want to stay there as well for the time. So there's lots of action, lots of things to do there anyway. $20, he says, for the day for zip lines. Fantastic.
Now I've got to ask Larry a question here. He says side hug only. How the hell do you do that?
Well, we've got a few huggers there.
Okay.
That's
That's what I call the Clayton's hug.
This is like the dude hug when you're like you're got a little bit too much testosterone. You're like, you kind of want to hug, but then you're kind of like handshake, and then you're kind of like, okay, we'll just, yeah, all right. That's not me. I do not suffer from an excess of testosterone. So yes, I will give you a big hug.
Yeah. No, that side hug is what we call Clayton's. Clayton's means it's the hug you have when you don't really
when you're not having a hug. There's a non-alcoholic drink available here called Clayton's.
So it's the drink you have when you're not having a drink.
That was how it was advertised.
What is it? What does it taste like, or what is it made of? Or
It's a non-alcoholic.
Who cares?
Oh, okay. It's a zero alcohol beer.
Yeah.
Okay.
G'day, Daniel.
Beer. We call those near beers here.
Right.
We've got zero beers as well.
Oh, this is different then.
And wine
Yeah, this is more like a spirit.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Mm. We're very forward thinking, us Australians.
Yes. Very down under. Well, okay. So lots to think about.
Lots
Thanks,
to think
guys.
about.
That's been really informative.
We've appreciated the couple of hours that we've spent together.
It's gone by so fast.
Oh, it does, doesn't it?
Incredible. And I think our cruise is going to go as quickly too.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, sad. Yeah.
Well, that's okay. We'll
Lots
just
of
have to
memories.
plan for another one.
Plenty of memories.
There you go.
Great.
Anyway.
Thank you so much for your brain picking. Hope it wasn't too painful.
No, we had fun.
Appreciate it. Your knowledge.
Folks, if anybody's interested, Fantastic Studios, I will suggest to you, please go ahead and please check them out. See what their videos are like. They are extremely awesome. I've been I've had the issue of being one of the guinea pigs of watching it, and let me say I'm an avid watcher, and there's always a lot of things to learn, especially things like the undersea animal of the day, cruise creature.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you never know. You might see a Sean swimming out there. That could be your new creature of the week.
they don't want a beached whale.
It's an invasive species.
Greenpeace. Hang on, Greenpeace might be called. They'll be hauling. Sorry, without joke between us.
Greenpeace in a budgie smuggler.
Oh dear. Michael Ann, you are so correct. Taking lots of pictures and videos and making great memories. That's it exactly in a nutshell.
So Larry's asking, a friend wants to know, what are the activities on the cruise? Folks, thanks very much. It's been an awesome day. We'll catch up with you later.
Thank you all for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. We shall catch you.
And our
I do apologize for not being there on Wednesday.
We've not had a good week at all.
We've
had a gastric virus.
I don't tell them.
All week.
They'll know that we've had the shits.
We are actually drinking tea, black tea. That's all we've had all week. Oh dear. It's been horrible.
Folks, we will catch up with you on Wednesday. We will catch up with you next week, Friday night, Saturday, our time. We want to thank you very much for having the time to come in and spend with us.
Yeah.
We shall catch you. Take it easy.
Have a great week.
Just hang in.